Neighbors always love to show off their brand names in their circle of friends, either big brand bags or expensive jewelry, but I stumbled upon it. Every luxury item she flaunts. I have the same one in my closet. I told my husband Liam about this. He just whispered reassuringly, "All the neighbors who live here are rich. You think too much." Even my son is impatient. "You're so paranoid all the time. Who would take your things?" But I still think something's wrong. So I took some of the luxury goods I bought for inspection. The test results showed all the goods are fake. I caught a glimpse of my husband Liam and my son with a guilty look on their faces. The heart probably understood. When I found the content of my neighbor's friends circle, I was having lunch when I just saw that familiar bag. I was a bit puzzled. I bought this bag only a week ago for a large sum of money. Because it's a global limited edition, there are less than 5 pieces in the whole of New York. I don't like to use the same bag as others. I didn't expect such a coincidence. There are less than 5 in the city. We have 2 in our neighborhood. Scroll down the screen. It's all friend circles from our neighbor Sophia, she said. "Thank you, husband. Bought me the limited edition bag. I especially like it." Hubby Liam saw that I was quite tired of bringing up my son, specially customized jewelry for me. He said he loves me. Sometimes he gives me designer bags. Sometimes he gives me limited edition jewelry. But the more I look into it, I think it's a bit strange. Forget the bags. Even the jewelry and clothes are exactly the same as mine. Every time she sends them out, it's always a week later than when I bought it. It's too much of a coincidence. I thought of this. I immediately called my husband Liam. "Go and take a look at my check room. See if anything is missing." Liam looked at it carefully. I said in a soft voice, "It's okay. I'm here. Thieves won't dare to come to our house." "Are you sure there are none?" He said helplessly. "There's really nothing. Even mosquitoes can't get in." See this situation. I had to hang up the phone, just in time to see Sophia send a friend circle. My husband took me to the playground. It's still a private venue. My son said it was especially fun. At this time, I found an extra spending record on the secondary card of my bank card. The cell phone shows that I just spent $200,000. It's the expense of the amusement park. I looked at the screen. The doubts that I had put down before popped up again. And so, I dialed Liam's video phone. The first time I called, it rang once and was hung up. A few minutes later, Liam called back. "Wife, I was busy doing housework at home just now. Didn't get your call." He spoke in a calm tone. The video also showed that he was indeed at home. "Liam and I have been married for 7 years. We've always had a good relationship. I shouldn't have suspected him, but that friend circle did make me feel uncomfortable. So I tried to ask him, 'Where is my son? Kindergarten should be on vacation today.'" Liam froze for a moment. Then he smiled and said, "I left my kids with Mom and Dad to take them to the playground. It's easier for me to clean up at home. Mom and Dad weren't feeling too well. I just decided on my own to let them pack and play. Are you mad at me?" I shook my head. After hanging up the phone, I began to think silently. My son was picked up by his grandparents. This is indeed normal, but I always felt something was wrong. I suddenly remembered. The smartwatch I bought for my son a year ago has a positioning function. I opened the cell phone positioning software to check. The software showed that my son was at the Swan Playground. This gave me a shock in my heart, because the bill was paid by Swan Playground. How is it possible for a playground to be chartered twice at the same time? Seeing this situation, I organized the documents, planning to make a trip in person over the years. I've been too busy working. I cared less about my son. Now, I always feel stuffy in my chest. I can't even concentrate at work. I drove to Liam's parents' house. They weren't back yet, so I waited inside. Waiting until 5 in the afternoon. Lucas took his grandparents by the hand, bounced back. At a glance, he saw me sitting on the sofa, immediately skimmed his mouth. Showing his teeth, he said, "Grandpa, who is this? How come I've never seen it before?" I was startled, rushed to him. I squatted down and asked, "Lucas, I'm your mom. How can you not recognize me?" He turned his head. And looked unhappy. "Who wants you to be my mom? My mom should be." Lucas didn't finish his sentence. Grandpa hurriedly covered his mouth. "You child. What are you talking about? She is your real mom." He wasn't nervous at all. Instead, he hid behind the old man and made a face at me and said, "Oh, Mom, I don't believe you. You are old. You don't look good either. I don't want you to be my mom." I looked at my naughty son. My shoulders shook involuntarily. I've been busy with work over the years, but Lucas's birthday, family gatherings, and children's days. I didn't miss a single one. To make his life easier, I worked my ass off, often staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning. Money was earned, but my body was exhausted. I never told anyone about this. I survived the difficult time of being sick alone. I felt sorry for my husband and children. I didn't stay with them, but I never imagined the always gentle and polite Liam would teach his son to be like this. Thinking about it, I could hardly breathe. I called him right away. As soon as I opened my mouth, his voice was still filled with tears. "Your son has disowned me. What do you say?" Liam panicked when he heard my voice. Immediately hung up the phone, rushed over, seeing his familiar face. I was finally relieved. Liam grabbed his son, dragged to me in front, said in a stern tone, "Quickly apologize to your mother." Lucas's eyes turned red, as if he had been greatly wronged. He shook off Liam's hand. He said angrily, "I don't even see her a few times a year. How can she be considered my mom?" Said. He casually grabbed the toy next to him. He hit me hard on my head. I immediately felt a sharp pain. My eyes went black. My hand involuntarily covered the wound. Lucas' hands were full of blood. He saw the bleeding, but didn't panic at all. Instead, he said provocatively, "Get out of my house. I don't need a mom like you." Liam was on his hands and knees to help me back. His face was full of guilt. He said, "Lucas is a bit agitated tonight. It's better not to let him go back. I'll just go back by myself. I want to be alone." Liam saw that I was so insistent, he agreed. As soon as I arrived home, I immediately went to Lucas's room. The room was neatly tidied. There was only a children's painting on the table. Lucas drew a picture of a family of 3. The picture is especially cozy, but I only took one look. I felt that my legs were weak. Like stepping on cotton, I couldn't stand up. The mom in the painting. She has long, beautiful, silky hair. I've always had short hair. It's obvious. The mom in Lucas' painting wasn't me. I rushed to the check room, going through the clothes one by one. It's not what I expected. There's nothing wrong with the bags. Each one was neatly packed by Liam, not a speck of dust on the surface. I sat on the couch, keeping my eyes open until dawn. The next day, I immediately contacted the friend who did the test certificates. I picked a few packages at random, packed them and sent them over. Didn't expect this detection. Surprisingly found a big problem. I sent over 5 packages, actually all fake goods. Friends worried. These packages at first glance alignment okay, but look closely at a whole lot of problems, especially the texture of the skin, with the real thing is far from it. This matter is too big a blow to me. Each bag as I personally go to the counter to buy, it can't be fake. The family has access to these bags. There's only one person. But how could Liam have done all this? Thinking about that strange neighbor, and my son who was becoming more and more distant from me, my scalp went numb. My blood felt like it was freezing. Cold hands and feet. Something began to speculate in my mind. I drove slowly towards home, almost to the neighborhood. A carelessness was hit by a black car. The owner of the limo got out of the car in a huff, knocked hard on my car window. "How do you drive? Don't you watch the road?" I unbuckled my seatbelt, impatiently got out of the car. The black car suddenly changed lanes without a turn signal. That's why the 2 cars collided. But listen to her tone of voice, as if it was all my fault. "Get out of the car." I was frozen. The woman was wearing all brand names, shiny jewelry around her neck, long hair down to her waist, and her face was especially beautiful. My whole body froze. This outfit, I had bought it all for myself, especially that jewelry set. It was a gift to myself on my 30th birthday. The woman glanced at me disdainfully, said, "Pauper, that's a stupid look. Quickly return the money to me. Otherwise, my husband will definitely not let you go." Looking at the ring on her hand that was as big as a pigeon egg, I'm even more sure. This is my neighbor who always shows off her wealth in her circle of friends. "Sophia," she said coldly, "it's your own problem. Why should I give you money? I'm going to call the police." Sophia gave me a look. Her eyes were full of dislike. "Big sister, it's just a small scratch. Are you in such a hurry to ask for money?" She was just about to open her mouth. The cell phone suddenly rang. "What, you said your son is sick? I'll be right back. I'll be right back." She hangs up the phone. She grunted contemptuously. "You're lucky this time. My son is in trouble. I won't talk to you." She hung up the phone after saying that. She drove off in a hurry. I watched her step on the gas and leave. I didn't say a word. I followed her in my car. The car was parked in front of Liam's parents' house. I also parked in a less conspicuous corner after Sophia got out of the car. Lucas immediately ran over. She hugged her mom's leg tightly. She wouldn't let go. "Mommy, you finally came to see me. I really missed you," seeing this scene. Something in my heart suddenly broke. The son I worked so hard to give birth to, but he calls another woman mom. Last night he hurt my forehead. It still hurts. I clenched my teeth, nails pinched deep into my palms. I can barely stay awake. Liam runs through the door, picks up his son and puts him on his shoulder. Said helplessly, "Didn't you just go to the amusement park with your mom yesterday? Why are you so anxious to see her now?" Sophia smiled and pounced on him, kissed Liam's face. Liam accepts with a smile. The three of them look like a family. Next to them, Lucas is still talking nonstop. "That's my mom. Not like the older one. Mom always smells so soft." Liam said bitterly, Okay. But the next time you see Lucas, you'll have to act better. Don't make that woman suspicious. Otherwise, Dad won't let you see Mom." Okay, Lucas was skimming his lips. I didn't hear what he said after that. I returned home distracted. The first thing I did was to back up the home security video. This surveillance was originally installed to record my son's growth, but I've been too busy. I haven't used it once since it was installed. The surveillance video can only be saved for half a year at most. During these 6 months, Liam brought that woman home almost every day. On the sofa in front of the window in the kitchen, I watched them being intimate. My heart ached. What hurt me even more was, Liam gave away all the luxuries I bought. Liam looked at the surveillance video, seriously said to Sophia, "Don't worry. When I make some more money, we'll get married. You're the true love of my life. Emily was just an accident. If she didn't make money, who would want to marry a yellow face?" Sophia smiled and hugged her. Her voice is sweet. "Good. I'm waiting for you to marry me." Lucas sees this scene. He happily brings the ring from the master bedroom. Proposal. I watched as the ring I bought was placed on another woman's hand. All those years of hard work and sweat, it all became another woman's possession. At that moment, the door was pushed open from outside. Lucas held Sophia's hand. He walked in happily. Liam followed me. As soon as he saw me, he suddenly froze. He stammered, "Honey, what are you doing back here?" I glanced at Sophia quietly. Liam rushed to explain. "Wife, don't get me wrong. This is our neighbor." I avert my eyes, responded softly. He rushed to Sophia. "You hurry back. Thanks for today." Lucas is reluctant, though, but after seeing Liam's warning look, just skimmed his mouth, gave me a disdainful look. I watched it all happen. Liam cheating on me, falling in love with someone else. I felt bad about it at best. But the son I raised with my own hands, Lucas, who I raised with so much effort, is as cold and heartless as his father. I treat Lucas as my heart's darling, but he hates me for being such a bitch. To him, I am sad and disappointed, but there is still a trace of reluctance in my heart. "Wife, what do you want to eat tonight?" The sound brought me back to reality. I answered casually, "Anything." Liam went into the kitchen. Lucas and I are left in the living room. He plays with the blocks alone. He was playing with his blocks, but he made a point of staying away from me. Whenever I get up, he hides away from me, as if he was deliberately trying to avoid me. I waved at him. "Lucas, Mommy wants to see you." He came over reluctantly. I pulled out a beautiful music box from a nearby drawer. I had originally bought it for his 5th birthday. The octave box was exquisitely made and beautiful. Lucas quickly put it away. I could tell he liked it. I whispered to him, "Do you like Dad better? Or Mommy?" I paused for a moment, then I said, "With Mommy, you can live in a big house and lots of toys and snacks." Without hesitation, Lucas slammed the music box on the floor. He said angrily, "I knew you didn't have good intentions. You want to buy me with toys." "No way." He slammed the music box on the ground. It broke into pieces instantly. The way he was angry, he looks more and more like Liam. I stood up, looking at my son in front of me, suddenly remembered what happened a year ago. Lucas has been good and smart since he was a child. He was loved by everyone on Mother's Day. He gave me the first gift in my life. It was a beautiful hand-drawn picture. It said, "For my favorite mom." I was tired from work. He would gently kiss my face, saying in a childish voice, "Mom, don't work so hard from now on." I was so heartbroken. I was deeply moved. Looking at my son's innocence, I made up my mind to give him the best life. Since Lucas likes painting, I'm going to fully support him to become a painter, pave the way for his future. In just 1 year, the child who once loved me dearly is gone. I felt a tingle in my palm. That's when I came back to my senses. It turned out, I had unknowingly pinched my palms red. Lucas had already run away. There was a mess around. Liam saw it, hurriedly whispered, "You do not care? I'll clean up just fine." Lucas glanced at it from a distance, muttered in a low voice, "Older women really can't. Dad has to do everything." My heart went cold. After making an excuse to go back to my room, I contacted a team of professional lawyers for counseling. Liam illegally misappropriated the marital property. How can I make him return the money bit by bit? I provided video footage. It took a lot of work to put together a bill. The amount reached 8 figures. After getting an affirmative answer, I was only slightly relieved. Liam and I have been married for so many years. It's hard to separate the couple's common property. Thinking about it now, I feel a little lucky instead. He was reckless at home, bringing his lover home to do that kind of thing. It just happened to leave me evidence. Now, I just have to wait for my chance. While collecting evidence these days, I haven't been idle. I purposely left the company's affairs to reliable people, stayed home for 7 whole days by myself. Divorce is one thing. Letting Liam get a taste of his own medicine, it's another thing. He has to cook and bring up the kids under my nose every day. He had to pretend to be gentle and kind at the dinner table. I put down my chopsticks, coldly said, "Today's food is a bit salty." He froze for a moment, did not dare to say anything more, just said softly, "I'll make another one for you. Every time I eat." I had to ask him to redo it at least 3 times. He was getting angry. I said softly, "I'm short-tempered these days. The company has a big order. I'll get tens of millions of dollars when it's done. I want to buy a big villa in your name. We'll live there as a family." Oh my God, I've been under too much pressure these days, hearing $10 million. He immediately replied with a smile. "The woman is in charge of the outside. The man is in charge. This is my job." I didn't sleep in the middle of the night. I asked him to go out and buy me a midnight snack. He bought it back, but I didn't want to eat. I said with a cold face, "The oil is frozen. How can I eat it?" "Hurry up and buy another one." He was angry again. He can only tolerate it. "Lucas can't stand it when I make things difficult for his dad," he said angrily. "You bad woman. Why do you always bully my father?" I looked at him, calmly said to Liam, "This is the son you taught. If you don't discipline him properly, send him to a custodial center. If you can't, I'll adopt another child. This child was not taught well. Then I'll raise another one." Liam didn't take it seriously. Once he heard I wanted to adopt a child, he immediately took Lucas out and taught him a good lesson. Lucas didn't know what to do. He apologized to me with red eyes. I waved my hand and let him go. The next day, I got a little boy from a friend. I looked at Liam's father and son. I smiled and said, "Lucas has spoiled you. I'm going to bring him up as my own." "That's not good enough. Give me some more time." Liam immediately refused to satisfy me. He told Lucas to stand in the corner and reflect. Lucas is usually spoiled. Of course he didn't want to, crying, "I want mommy. I don't want bad women. You're all bullying me," I asked, pretending to be curious. "What? Your dad found you a new mom on the side." Liam glares, immediately peeled down Lucas' pants, raised his hand and slapped him, slap after slap. Lucas slowly lost his strength. I said with satisfaction, "Since you can control him, I'll send the kid back. Next time you do that, Lucas shouldn't stay in our house." The house has been in chaos these days. Liam and Lucas don't want anyone to have peace. A week later, Liam had to stay home. He was getting more and more anxious every day. I looked up my friend's circle, found Sophia complaining for days on end, drinking alone. The days are too lonely and torturous. I don't believe in men's sweet words anymore. There is no one in this world who truly loves me. I've long noticed the urgency in Liam's eyes, but the evidence wasn't enough. It's not even close to what I want. Today, I finally got the complete chain of evidence. I deliberately said to Liam, "I have a meeting tonight. I'll be back late. You keep an eye on your son at home." He hurriedly nodded his head, pretending to be affectionate. "Wife, don't worry, I'll take care of the house. Come home early. I'm waiting for you." I was out for a while. When I turned on the surveillance, I saw Liam bring Sophia into the house. The two of them were making out inseparably, pouring their hearts out to each other. I waited for a while. I saw them enter the room. I slowly walked up the stairs. When I pushed open the door, 2 people were lying naked on the bed. Sophia screamed. Liam rushed to wrap her in the quilt. I shouted angrily, "Liam, how dare you betray me?" Liam was a bit confused for a moment, didn't understand how things suddenly turned out like this. I took out my cell phone, took a picture of them. I said coldly, "Let's meet at the police station." As soon as Liam heard police station, immediately understood, immediately kneeled down. He crawled over in a panic, hugged my legs tightly, crying loudly, Honey, don't call the police. If you do, I won't be able to see anyone again. I promise this is the last time. I was wrong. I'm really wrong. He looked at me with tears on his face. I still dialed the police, no matter how much Liam pleads. I won't budge, must make a big deal out of this. Arrived at the police station. Liam said with a face full of remorse, "Wife, I promise, this time it was just a moment of confusion. I will never do it again." Sophia looked at him like this. She couldn't help but scold him. "Liam, what do you mean by this? Could it be that I am seducing you? Cheating is a big deal. It's a big deal. Small is small, even if the police want to help me. The most they can do is a civil mediation." Looking at Liam, he looked genuinely repentant. I asked calmly, "Is this your first time cheating?" Liam hurriedly nodded his head, eagerly answered, "Of course." I can't help but laugh out loud. "Well played. Almost had you fooled." Liam's face immediately changed. I gave the evidence I had collected in the past few days to the police. After the police looked at it, their faces immediately changed. Cheating is a small matter. Illegal misappropriation of property is a big deal. Liam is not stupid. Finally reacted, pointed at me and cursed. "You already knew, right? You're deliberately trying to trap me. Emily, your heart is too cruel. If I have a criminal record, what about your son thinking about it?" Liam immediately calmed down. She said contemptuously, "You want me to go to jail? Aren't you afraid of your son's sadness?" I stared at the car keys in my hand, said casually, "What son? Isn't he Sophia's son? It's none of my business." The moment this was said, Sophia and Liam's faces changed color. Liam gritted his teeth, barely squeezing out a smile. He said, "I really didn't realize it before. You are actually so ruthless. The evidence is overwhelming. I'm suing for divorce on the grounds of his marital infidelity. I also want to recover all the expenses he gave Sophia during the marriage. This house I'm living in now is my premarital property. Of course, I can't let them live there anymore, but I don't feel comfortable with it either." Immediately listed the house on a second-hand trading app. The day Liam and his son were evicted, Lucas hated me with a passion, like a little animal on the verge of madness. "From now on, you're not my mom anymore. Even if you beg me, I won't leave Dad. I'll never go with you." I looked at his angry face, laughed softly. "Who wants to be your mom? I'll have another smart and cute kid. Not better than a heartless one like you." In the past, when I was busy with work, I loved Lucas like a baby, as my only child. From the moment he was born, I gave him all my love. I know that. The total disappointment with him builds up slowly. It didn't happen all of a sudden. He's exactly like Liam. Always reminds me of him. He inherited his father's blood. Now he's decided. As his former mother, I deserve to respect his choice. I looked at his small figure, said in a cold tone, "From now on, you are not my son anymore." On the day of the divorce proceedings, Liam did not come because he was hospitalized. The divorce had to be postponed. He called me to go to the hospital. I was worried he'd cause trouble again. I had to rush over. As soon as I entered the hospital room, I felt something was wrong. Several cameras were pointed at me. The atmosphere was tense. Liam and Lucas were not far from each other. Tears were streaming down their faces. Liam said, "I was at home all day taking care of the kids, although nothing much has been accomplished, but also paid a lot. But my wife thinks I am nothing. She even tried to make me leave with nothing. My son is not even 5 years old. I really have no choice. I just hope everyone can give me justice." The number of people in the live broadcast room increased rapidly. I said angrily, "Liam, don't you make any more trouble." He glanced at me nervously. His voice trembled, then kneeled in front of me. "I don't expect you to get back together with me. I just hope you can take your son and leave. I haven't had much contact with society all these years. I can't afford to raise a child. Please do me a favor. Take my son away." Lucas had red eyes. He said stubbornly, "Dad, I won't go. I won't go." This live broadcast must have moved many viewers to tears. Liam was clearly identified, faced with the pressure of so many people. I won't tell the truth in order to save face. I took out my cell phone. Sure enough, I saw this live broadcast on the same city's hot search list. It seems Liam is determined to use the internet against me this time. I lowered my head. Staring at the pop-ups on the screen, someone commented, "Good men are rare nowadays. Why is this woman so ungrateful? Which hospital? I will immediately go over to do justice." As soon as the words "do justice for God" appeared, I immediately thought of a countermeasure. Since Liam wants to use the netizens against me, then I have nothing to fear. "Let him taste the bitter fruit himself," I said fiercely. "Liam, How dare you accuse me wrongly? I told you clearly, even if you begged me 10 times on your knees. I will never forgive you. Liam heard that. He immediately turned to me, continuously kowtowed 10 times in order to make the live broadcast better. He kowtowed especially hard. His forehead was swollen. I held back my laughter, cursed arrogantly, "Don't pretend. Don't you just want money? I won't give you a single cent." Speaking of money, I clearly saw a flash of hatred in Liam's eyes. The pop-ups in the live broadcast room are still increasing. Can't stand it. This woman is speechless. I'll come over by car right away. I prepared a box of rotten eggs. I'll give him a taste of his own medicine later. Family, as long as we are united. We'll make sure she gets what she deserves. The pop-ups are scrolling rapidly. Apparently, quite a few people came into the live broadcast room, all shouting against me. The entrance to the ward began to be noisy. It looked like the first group had arrived. Liam looked out the door, a smug look on his face, then crying and shouting, "Thank you all, but please don't target my wife. If there's anything you want to do, you can come to me directly. If you're a man, you should take it on yourself. Never back down. I'm sure she'll change." My hand moved, trying to control the urge to hit him. The security guard couldn't hold back the troublemakers at the door. The first rotten egg flew in. Seeing that things were getting worse, that's when I took out Liam's punishment slip. I shoved it directly in front of the camera. "Liam, when you exchanged my bag and belongings for fake goods, didn't you panic? The worst thing you ever did, the most wrong thing you've done is to let my child, who I've been carrying for 10 months, to recognize another woman as his mother. I worked hard to earn money to support my family. I didn't let you fool around at home with other people." The moment this statement was made, the atmosphere in the live broadcast room immediately changed. Liam's face turned white, obviously not understanding how I could reveal my hurt in front of everyone. Of course he wouldn't understand. I've been through much more painful things than this. When Lucas called another woman mom, when I witnessed my beloved fall to the depths of depravity, my heart died long ago. Every single thing was shocking. How dare he lie to us? He must be taught a lesson, cheating after marriage and publicly attacking his wife. Everyone come to support me. This kid too. He learns to lie at a young age. He's just like his father. Seeing Liam dodging rotten eggs and leaves in the chaos, I was a little happy. I'm going to get up and go. I have to go back to work today. Before leaving, I looked down at Liam and Lucas and said, "Next divorce. I hope you're not late." His lips quivered slightly. His body shivered. 3 days later, they successfully completed the divorce formalities. Since he had an affair during the marriage, there were other bad behaviors. The court ruled that he should leave the house with a clean bill of health. Not only that, the money he spent on the third party during the marriage, all had to be paid back in full. This directly put him in heavy debt. I'm much better off than Liam. The child should be awarded to me, but he insisted on living with his dad. The judge had to agree that father and son should live together. I just have to pay the alimony on time. As for the alimony, I'll pay the minimum. When he walked out of the courtroom, Liam looked very tired. I used to like his face the most, handsome and gentle. Now he's due to late nights and stress. He has a lot of pimples on his face. The pores have also thickened. Suddenly, I realized he's already a 30-year-old adult, the teenage boy image that I love. I don't know when, gone along with his genuine heart, but he still barely managed to give me a provocative smile. "So what if you get the money? My son and Sophia will always love me. The 3 of us are the real family." I looked at his confident look. I can't help but smile contemptuously. Liam doesn't understand at all. Love without a material foundation is like a plate of scattered sand. When the wind blows, it will fall apart. In the past, I was the matchmaker. That's why he and Sophia are so sweet. I'm curious, without me in the middle, how far would they have gone? Just thinking about it. Sophia came to pick him up with a big smile on her face. "Liam, I'm here." Liam's eyes light up. He immediately took him in his arms. Lucas is excited too. He shouted, "Mommy, I miss you so much." I saw Lucas glancing at me with his afterglow, as if trying to piss me off. Unfortunately, the mom who loved him is gone. I took the car keys, drove the latest model of luxury car, and left in style. 3 years later, I ran the company better. However, I learned to enjoy life. Since then, I don't work so hard anymore. I use my free time to skincare, travel to learn pottery, cultivate all kinds of different interests, and bought a big villa in the suburbs. Life has been peaceful and affluent until Lucas came to me alone. He was already 8 years old. He's grown a lot taller. He no longer speaks with a vague nasal voice. I haven't seen him for 3 years. He's really changed a lot. Mom, hearing his nervous tone. My smile faded away. I'm not your mom. He grips my hand tightly, voice trembling on the verge of tears. Mom, when I was young, I didn't know any better. I couldn't tell the good guys from the bad guys. Don't be angry with me. Seeing him like this, I'm a little curious about what he's been through. It turns out, ever since Sophia and Liam got married, her attitude towards Lucas has completely changed. Before, she would coax him, play with him, and buy him all kinds of snacks and toys. After the wedding, she doesn't even pay much attention to Lucas. All she does is go shopping or meet her friends for beauty treatments. After she got pregnant, her antipathy towards Lucas became even stronger. Mom, what mom? I'm not your mom, this one in my belly. It's my real child. Liam had some savings after the divorce, but Sophia was a spendthrift. Soon she couldn't make ends meet. They quarreled a lot. There was no peace in the house. When Sophia couldn't get the money, she got a divorce. Liam had to ask his parents for money. His parents had $1 million in savings, but he cheated them out of it. Liam had no choice. He had to go out to work to earn money, but he's not very good at it. He only earns $4,000 a month. It's not enough to support Sophia. It was hard to wait until the baby was born. Liam thought Sophia would be stuck with the baby for the rest of her life, but it turns out that the child is not Liam's at all. Sophia has been with someone else for a long time. She was pregnant with that man's child. She originally wanted to lie to Liam, let him be the wrongdoer to take care of her. Unexpectedly, Liam found out that the blood type was wrong. The whole thing was exposed, but he had no choice. He had no choice but to suffer in silence. Liam spent all his money on Sophia. Now he's divorced. He's old and has a son. No savings, can't find a wife at all. Speaking of which, Lucas is already in tears. Mom, I'm your own son. You can't leave me alone. He looked back at the luxurious house, gulped. Dad said you still think of him in your heart. That's why you haven't found anyone else. I'll be your only child from now on. As long as you treat me well, I will definitely give you old age, he said. The greedy look on his face became more obvious. After all, he was a child. Can't hide his emotions yet. I could see through him at a glance. He asked, Mom, where are you? The little boy's clear voice came from the house. Lucas hears it. The choked voice suddenly stopped. Surprised, he said, Mom, you have other children. The little boy heard the voice and found me. Immediately jumped into my arms. His voice was soft. With a little pout, he wants his mommy to hold him. Hey. I hugged him tightly. My eyes are full of tenderness and favor. It was only then that I remembered to answer Lucas. Yes, I did. Not only that, I'm going to leave here soon, seeing Lucas' embarrassed expression. I smiled slightly. 3 years ago, you're not my child anymore. I don't need you to take care of me either. I stood up, patted my leg. You go away. I won't see you again. You're just like your father, disgusting. Lucas is stung by the word disgusting. He clenched his teeth, kicked the door as hard as he could. And yet, no one paid any attention to him. He had to leave alone. The little boy whispered in my ear, Godmother, why do you want me to call you Mom? This boy is actually my best friend's son. I recognized him as my righteous son. After knowing that Lucas wanted to come to me, I prepared in advance. 3 years ago, he called someone else Mom in front of me. 3 years later, I may have other children, but will never recognize him. Thinking about it, I'm smiling. Do you want to try the cake made by Godmother? The kid's eyes lit up. He kept nodding. I led him into the house. It wasn't long before the sweet smell of cake wafted out of the house. I've let go of the past. Now, I just want to be happy for the future.